How's it going, vinyl community? Welcome to my new video. Friday night, cheers. Drinking a local IPA. Don't usually do videos at nighttime. I don't really like the lighting, but I've been wanting to get this done earlier today, but didn't. Anyways, here I am. So I was chatting with my buddy Tom FXP earlier, and he was telling me he was shooting a video of his record fair finds, WFMU, and I was pretty jealous that I couldn't go to that fair, but there was a fair in Montreal last weekend as well at the same time, just one day, not quite as epic, but I thought I'd jump on and share what I got. But first, I got some VCLT to share, which I am very, very, very appreciative, thankful, and happy about, from the one and only David Belson, someone who is a long-standing member of the vinyl community. On the Turntables, his YouTube channel. If you don't know it, check it out. I look up to him almost in terms of I've learned a lot from him, and just his videos, the way he speaks, really, really well done. So, and I know he likes a good local brew. So cheers, David. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So what David sent me was, first of all, this. And this is one that he had posted, and a record I didn't know, I had never seen it all, and I commented on it, and I think that's where it kind of sparked from, where he grabbed me a copy, and this is Sing Me a Song of Song Me, a fantasy for electromagnetic tape, featuring Freddie Hubbard and his quintet, as well as with reciters, chorus, string orchestra, Hammond organ, synthesized and processed sounds, composed and realized by, I'm not going to try to read that name, but I believe he's a Turkish composer. Really, really cool cover art, and this is really, really cool. It's a trip. I need to listen to it a few times, but there's like some spoken word type of thing. The reciters, Freddie Hubbard obviously is excellent, and then there's definitely this electromagnetic tape, like the synthesizers, so some out there stuff, but it comes together in this epic epic form. Really, really cool gatefold with all types of quotes. Every man should be his own government, his own laws, his own church. Before asking what you can do for your country, ask what your country has done for you. Anyway, this is one I definitely need to spin a few times. I've listened through it almost once. I've had to jump in and out of the room actually while I was listening to it, but really, really thankful for this, David. Next two were complete surprise and absolutely blew me away. Also part of the VCLT package. So this one is Novella Nelson. Love this cover. These two were sealed that he sent me, and this one's on Arcana label I've never heard of. The Freddie Hubbard's from like early 70s. It's on Atlantic actually. So this one actually doesn't say the year on Discogs or anywhere online can I find the year. But so vocal jazz, kind of soul jazz, really, really nice. There's some, what does she do? She does Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. She does I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free, Porgy, Cold Water Flat, I'm Troubled, Do What You Gotta Do. So songs I know, and there is some, reminds me, her vocals a bit on some tracks of Nina Simone. This one you have Phil Moore on piano, and he also arranged it, and you also have Fred Waits on drums, and you have Richard Davis on bass, and it's honestly, it's a beautiful, beautiful record. I know not all of you are into the vocal jazz, but it's not something I'm afraid of appreciating. I have fond memories of listening to vocal jazz as a kid. But yeah, so this was really, really special, and Thank you so much, David. And the next one I think this may have been the record that you posted, but I'm not sure, but I know you posted one by her. I think it was this, and it's a stunning, stunning record. Also vocal jazz, and this is Fatima Bea Benjamin. This is from 1985 with a killer lineup of Kenny Barron on piano, Buster Williams on bass, and Billy Higgins on drums. And this one is called Wind Song. And this is just, it's like spiritual jazz, but with vocals, and it's magnificent. I really, really appreciated this. So thank you, David. I recommend everyone go check this out. Very spacious and soothing music. Okay, so to get into what I grabbed at the fair, not on the same level as what I saw in the Facebook group and people, what they grabbed on at WFMU, but I got some good records nonetheless, so happy to share them with you guys. First one I'll share was the biggest collector's piece, I guess, that I pulled. And this one is Paul Chambers' Bass on Top. This is Blue Note 1569. So this is an original. As far as I can tell, by doing my research, this is the first pressing based on London Jazz Collector. Gets trickier around this time, but so this is from 57 or 58, and it's Kenny Burrell on guitar, Hank Jones on piano, Paul Chambers on bass obviously, and Art Taylor on drums. Very, very, I love this record, beautiful recording. And yeah, so original pressing of this, which is not something you see too often. So it's, I don't know if you guys can see that. Blue Note Records, 47 West 63rd, NYC, with the deep groove. So yeah, that's a nice addition to my Blue Note collection, my original Blue Note collection, which is quite small. It's not in perfect shape by any means. There's definitely some scratches on it, but it plays really well. There's definitely some surface noise, but it doesn't stop me from enjoying the music. I actually have that one framed on the wall behind here in probably a Liberty pressing that I just have the cover of. So it was nice to find the original with the record in it. Grab this. Cannonball Adderley presents Soul Zodiac with the Nat Adderley Sextet. This is kind of all about the zodiac signs. There's kind of talking all over it. I have listened to 2 sides out of the 4 so far. It's one of those annoying 1 and 4, 2 and 3 things. But yeah, this is produced by David Axelrod. So it's cool, it's interesting, the vocals, what he's saying, but and the music is cool too, but not, I wouldn't say essential, but it is a cool record, as well as cool artwork, which I dig. Rolled the dice on this, well not really because it was $5, but Gospel Lights Fire Around My Feet, so a gospel record that has guitar, bass, drums, keyboard, so I knew there was, there was music on it. I've only listened to it once while I was cooking and someone else was here, wasn't paying full attention. It wasn't, it was good, but it didn't by any means blow me away, which is what the guy who was selling it was kind of, when I asked him about it, because there's not much online on this. I don't even think it's on Discogs. So I'm gonna re-listen to this and see what I get out of it, but for $5, a gospel record from the 70s, label I'd never heard of, Cosette Records. If anyone knows this, be curious what you guys think, but I will be listening to that again a few times before I put it on the shelf. This was another one I was happy to find, actually, and it sounds great. It doesn't look, it sounds way better than I thought it was. I didn't think it was going to sound awful, but you never know, especially when a record's from the 50s, and it sounds perfect. And this is Miles Davis, Round About Midnight. So, I mean, I'm far from completing my Miles collection, but I do have quite a few on Columbia, but I didn't have this one, and I don't even remember if I have this on CD, but it had been a long time since I listened to this, and I really enjoyed it. I was like kind of taken aback. I liked it more than I thought I was going to, seeing that it's music. I believe these were recorded in the 40s, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, this is an original. This was, I guess, a compilation. I could be totally wrong here, but I'm pretty sure this came out in the late 50s, and this is an original Columbia Canadian pressing. So yeah, happy to add that to the Miles collection. For those of you that are curious, if you are, what we're listening to, it's this. This is Bernice and ASCII New Life. This is actually one of my new finds from my other stack, from my non-fair finds, but I thought it'd be enjoyable music. One side cover is exactly the same. One side's French, one side's English. I've been collecting, I've been buying a bunch of stuff on the PM label recently because I've been finding it for cheap. So yeah, that's what's jamming in the back. Next one is one that I was really, really happy to find. I knew it was, well, I was hoping it was going to be there, but I knew it was going to be there at the fair because I'm in contact with one of the sellers, and I messaged him before saying, you know, what do you got for the fair? And he told me, he texted me a couple of records. He ended up only actually having one of them. The other one he didn't bring, so he may get into contact with me about that one. But I was really happy to find this. This is 4 for Train, Archie Shepp. I bought a ton of Archie Shepp records last year. Still missing a ton because he has so many. But this is in beautiful, beautiful shape, the gatefold. So this is an original stereo pressing. It's actually a bit of a misprint, which is kind of weird but kind of cool. So this, as you can see, is here, and I believe this is a bit closer than it should be to the edge. So this is from the inside, and then as a result, this is what should have been the rest of the front, and the famous orange and black got pushed to the back. So it doesn't have that signature Impulse look on the spine, which is kind of crappy. Not that I really care. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's different. But I had never really listened to this either. This is from '64. Archie Shepp, John Chichai, don't really know how to say that, Roswell Rudd, Reggie Workman, Alan Shorter, and Charles Moffat. 4 for Train. Beautiful mint copy. Adding to the Shepp collection, adding to the Impulse collection. Okay, moving along. This is one that I've been wanting. I tried to buy it online once, and then this seller was like, oh, we sold this a year ago. I don't know why I was still listed on Discogs. There was other copies. I just hadn't bought another one, and I found 2 copies at the record fair, actually. First time that I see it in person. Not a rare record, but not super common either, I guess. And I saw it, and I was like, it's a bit more than I want to pay for it. And then I saw another copy, and it was less, so I hopped on it. And it's in great shape. Lee Morgan, self-titled. I believe this is his last album that he put out. I don't know what came out first, this or the Live at the Lighthouse, which is excellent. I've shown that before. So this is double LP. It's this, like, I love Lee Morgan. He's always been my favorite trumpet player. And that's from his 50s and 60s stuff. But his his 70s stuff, like late 60s and early 70s stuff, the direction he was going before he passed away was exactly what I'm into now. So it's really sad I mean, it's sad obviously they passed away, but it's sad that we don't get to hear what, you know, what would have came next. I feel like he would have put out a record on Strata East. It was definitely getting more out there, and this has Billy Harper on it with they do a 15, almost 16-minute version of Capra Black, and it's definitely more out there. If you look, it's like trippy, and yeah. So I love where he was going. You have as well as Lee Morgan, you have Harold Maubourne Jr., Bobby Humphrey, Billy Harper, Gratian Moncure III, Reggie Workman, Freddie Waits, like killer lineup, and they deliver. So they're relatively cheap copies of this online, and I think for the price that this goes for, it's definitely worth it. And check out that Live at the Lighthouse too. Okay, Steve Lacey, Evidence with Don Cherry on New Jazz. Originally, this is I think an 80s pressing, French pressing, you know, originals. These are original New Jazz and go for so much money, and you just don't see them. So for, I think I paid, you know, 15 Canadian, so say it's like $12 US. Couldn't resist. Billy Higgins, Carl Brown, Don Cherry, Steve Lacey. Love these New Jazz covers. And the music, I can't comment. I've listened to it once, but I definitely need to dig in more. Just picked these up a week ago. This I was happy to find. Have the first one, second time around, UK kind of Afro, not Afrobeat, I don't really know what you're going to describe it, but you guys know what it is. Happy to pick up second one of that. Same seller, I grabbed Funkadelic, Cosmic Slop. I was playing this earlier today, never heard this record before. Happy to find this. This is from, I think, 73, 74, Funkadelic. Still missing their first two, self-titled and Free Your Mind. Arthur Blythe, Illusions. Didn't have any Arthur Blythe records, and the ones I always see are like in the tradition, and they just don't really move me. And this one I've seen, I know Tom, you posted it. Cover's dope. Music speaks to me a bit more. So yeah, who plays on this? James Blood Ulmer, John Hicks, Steve McCall, Fred Hopkins, Abdul Wadud, Bob Stewart, Bobby Battle. So yeah, good cheap record. I think it's 79 or 80. Finally came across a nice copy of this. Herbie Hancock Sextent. Haven't listened to this in a long time. I haven't listened to it since I got it. I had it digitally. So yeah, 1973. Herbie Hancock from, you know it. You know the period. The Mwandishi or whatever it's called. Buster Williams, Billy Hart, Julian Priester, Eddie Henderson, Benny Maupin. Heavy. I don't want to say finally because it's not an original, but finally because I have a copy. Haven't listened to it yet because I know it's heavy, and I want to be, you know, have the time to sit and listen to the whole thing. Killer lineup though: Elvin Jones, Freddie Hubbard, Marion Brown, McCoy Tyner, Jimmy Garrison, Archie Shepp, Pharoah Sanders. I mean, I'm just looking at the pictures. I'm assuming they all play on it. Art Davis, that John Chichai guy again, Dewey Johnson, Jimmy Garrison. Anyway, this is I don't know what these pressings are. So this is it's a Dynaflex. So on Discogs they have this listed like you know, the 68 ones, the second press of it, or it would maybe be the third because of the two editions. But this is probably like a 71, 72 pressing. It's pretty floppy, but it was cheap, so it will do for me. Thank you. Adding to the Indian Navigation Collection, Hammy at Blewett, a solo blues concert, Blind By, didn't know anything about it, but yeah, I usually pick up Indian Navigation when I see it in good shape for a good price. So solo saxophone, have not listened to it. I dropped the needle on it quickly and it sounded interesting. It's live, sound quality didn't sound like superb, but I'm looking forward to digging into this one. This is one that's not on Discogs, so by the cover you won't be able to tell. This is an RCI Dave Shaw 10 theme. So these are themes from TV shows. And there's some of this is, I listened to it quickly, and some of it's like, meh, and some of it is really funky. So they do, you know, theme from Ironside, Quincy Jones, theme from Mannix, Lalo Schifrin, Michel Legrand, Bullet, Bill Cosby, I think that's one of the funky ones, Hickey Burr, bunch of Lalo Schifrin. Anyway, Dave Shaw 10. Mainstream, Buddy Terry, Pure Dynamite. Listen to one side of this and it sounded pretty good and heavier than I thought. I remember seeing this, I think, at the fair like 2 fairs ago and regretted not picking it up for $20. Anyway, so this is Buddy Terry, Woody Shaw, Eddie Henderson, Kenny Barron, Joanne Brackeen, Stanley Clark, don't know how to say that name, Billy Hart, Lenny White, Erto, Matume, dope. Wasn't gonna leave it behind again. Okay, a couple cheapies I grabbed. Probably seen these a bunch of times and never grabbed them, but I don't, you know, I'm so into Don Cherry that I wasn't gonna leave these behind. I listened to this one. I dig it. Did I listen to this? I don't think I've listened to this one yet. So, Cadona, Colin Walcott, Don Cherry, and Nana Vasconcelos. Some cheap, really cheap finds in great shape. Not for everyone, for sure, but I dig it. And then a cheap soul record, a few bucks. Aretha Franklin, Sparkle, and I've been wanting this, but I'd seen it a bunch of times and it was always, you know, $15 and I didn't want to spend that. But just because of this, you know, composed by Curtis Mayfield, definitely can appreciate the music on here. Curtis Mayfield, one of my favorite soul artists. And that is it. That is it for VCLT. Once again, thank you, David. David Belson, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And that's the Record Fair finds, and I do have a bunch of other new finds that over the past probably, I don't remember, probably a couple months. So yeah, hope everyone's doing well, enjoying the rain. We got flooding here in Montreal in some areas, so I'm sure we're not the only ones. Tons of high water levels all over. So hope everyone's safe. Peace.